Be the change. Be the change. So many times I hear people talking about like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. It should be different than that. Or we should do something about that. Or that shouldn't be like that. We should do something about that. There are so many things that we as people, we sit and we look at it and we judge it, we comment on it, and we're like, we really should change something with that. And then it's like, well, yeah, that is true. And how do you change it? And the solution is so simple that it's almost unbelievable that it hasn't happened yet. But the first step is to be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. Go within. You can change yourself. You can get familiar with your internal, like your inner self. So many people, they walk around like shells, like they don't have an inner world. They don't have any of their own emotions anymore. They don't have any more of their own reactions anymore. They don't have anything authentic with them because they've been following all these rules. They've been doing all the right things. They've been saying the right things, acting the right way, doing the right thing, whatever. And they've been doing it for so many years that eventually you don't even remember how you feel about it. You don't even ask yourself anymore how you feel about it. You don't even care anymore. It's whatever. And as long as it's safe and comfortable, it's good. And then it's walking around like just like a shell. And that's very sad. That's a sad way to live a life. No joy there. No adventure. No sense of excitement. No, none of the good stuff. Passion. None of the exhilaration or feeling like wowed by the world around. None of that, just the shell. And there are a lot of shells walking around here on planet Earth. Voyage of the heart. It's supposed to be like a traveling of the heart. The shell forgot about the heart. The shell forgot about the soul. The shell did everything that society or whatever was dictated. They did that. They did the right things. They did how you're supposed to do. And now you're supposed to also feel grateful, and maybe you could feel a little bit guilty if you didn't do it right. so we can control you, and then love flows through you and to you. Love is always available. Like that is one of the biggest lies that has been served to us humanity, is that love it's something that you do, like when you do some chores around the church or you do some chores around there. That is love. Love is a feeling. Like love is real. Love is a feeling, and it's alive. It's like feelings. They're alive, and we forget about that, and then we become shells, and that's a very sad state. And so if we start to change that and get some heartbeat going, some pulsating blood through the heart again, and start to connecting to the heart, connecting to how we feel about things, being honest. You don't have to say it out loud at first if it doesn't fit your circumstances. A lot of times it doesn't fit our circumstances because we didn't choose with our heart. We chose from what we thought we were supposed to choose. And then we come around in all kinds of awkward situations because we didn't choose it from the heart. And it kind of sometimes doesn't end up all that well. But anyhow, love flows through you and to you. And awakening the heart. Awakening the heart. That is my prayer today. That everybody who watches this is getting an awakening in their heart. Feeling it. 7 of Cups. What situation in your life is bringing you variety of choices? What situation in your life is bringing you variety of choices? Perhaps they're cups. Maybe you have a lot of potential suitors. Maybe you have a lot of potential people that you connect well with. Perhaps you have a lot of different looking for a job. Maybe you get a lot of job offers. Searching for a job. Maybe you find a lot of things that you're interested in. Starting a new project. Perhaps you find all the pieces to the puzzle that you needed so that you can put it together really nicely and enjoy it. So what situation do you have in your life where it is bringing you a variety of choices? And how do you choose? How do we choose? Like, how do you choose what to do? How do you know what to do? And I think it's usually pretty easy, I think, but we complicate it, overcomplicate it, because we have been taught not to trust how we feel, or we've been taught to trust that our feelings are pretty far out there, or maybe not correct, or they're like always over exaggerated, or feelings got a bad rep sometimes, and we got a lot of feedback on how we felt maybe and what we did when we were feeling things. So I feel like society also is not open to have all these the human emotions, which is a good thing, to kind of be polite and function well around other people. But also, like, to be honest about how you feel. Maybe like, okay, when you're there, maybe you treat people like in a certain way within your role. But you can also be like honest with yourself that I really did not enjoy being here. This feels like a draining situation. I feel empty when I leave from here. I feel drained when I leave from here. I don't feel uplifted at all, but I'm supposed to be there because of such and such. And there are so many things that we do it just because, I don't know, we just think we have to, or we didn't think about it. Nobody asked us if we really wanted to do it, so we didn't know we could choose from there. But to choose from, if it actually brings you something when you're there, how do you feel? Again, back to the feelings. How does it make you feel when you're there? And do you feel empowered? Do you feel excited? Does it spark a little bit of interest? Maybe you feel drawn to something and it kicks in your passion. Now you get passionate about it. That's great. Like, nourish those feelings that come up, the excitement. Are you excited about something? Perfect, wonderful. Hang on to that. Like, embody these emotions. Embody them and encourage them to come out and play, because that's how you find your authentic self, is to be honest about how you feel. And sometimes feelings can be tricky too, because I know from my experience with all my trauma and everything, it is easy for me to overreact or underreact in situations because of the experiences. And so, but reacting anyway is better than to not reacting. And sometimes that's teachers. Like, if your reaction is way out of, not in alignment really with what happened, then you have something there that you can work on. That is something in your shadow that you can work on. That is one thing you can put on your to-do list. Like, why did it make me feel that way in that situation? Why did I react so much? Like, when it wasn't really that bad, what happened wasn't that extreme, but I was reacting as if someone was, or like it was overreacting. And why did that happen? Did something happen back in the day? Now you can start to figure it out, so you don't have to bring that type of reaction with you into your future self and your future life. And then already your life is better already. So refusing to walk away from the things that no longer serve us is also going to be hindering. Like, if you don't want to change, or you don't want to do the work, you don't want to walk away, you don't want to do the work, then you're going to be stuck where you are. And sometimes you got to take that time out. I know life is so busy and nobody really tells you or talks about like taking a time out. Nobody really talks that much about, some places they do, but in your workspace or where you be around people and stuff like that, then people don't really talk about like taking a pause, breathing for a little bit, meditating, listening, just being, taking time out from all the busyness of life, because you get into the roller coaster of life and the life that you have chosen, and now you have all your routines, you have all your things that you're doing, you got all your responsibilities, you got all people relying on you, you got all that stuff going on. And now, so you have all this fills up day by day by day. So you wake up, you do what you're in your mode. So you just go, you go to bed, and then you wake up, you go. And then years pass by and your life passing by like that without ever being kind of still and standing still for a little bit and just, whoa, let me process for a moment here. Where am I in my life? What have I done so far? Is this where I want to be? Am I happy here? Is this something that brings me joy? Is this situation that I'm currently living in, is this a good one for me? Do I need to make changes? Is there anything I can do different? And then be honest and sit down. But you have to sit down so you can feel yourself for a little bit. And in all the busyness and all the TV, the commercials, the whatever, like everything, the data, like all the stuff we've been watching all day long, we've been watching things. And so to be completely cut all of that out for a little bit, take your time to sit down and really look around you in your life and see what's going on, and also include little analysis analyzing other people that you have in your life too. And if they're not good for you, then just cut them out. Cut it off. Just cut it off. If they're not good for you, you have the right to just cut it off. If it's not good for you, you don't even have to explain it if you don't know how to say it or if you don't know what to do. But you to honor how you feel about things and to cut out those things that are bringing you down, making you feel exhausted, making you feel less worthy, making you feel less than who you truly are. Cut it out, like let it go out of your life. Allow it to disappear so that you can sit with yourself for a little bit. And now you can reassess, like, what is it that you really want in your life? What would your life look like if it was perfectly like good for you, the way you want it to be? And be honest about what you want it to be too, because sometimes I think we need something different than what we really need. So being honest about these things and figuring that out is going to be a brand new beginning, brand new start. And you can even take the time out. It's nothing have to be scary about it or anything. You can take the time out, you sit down, you reassess your life, you look around, you look at the people, the places, the things that you frequent, what you do with your time. Are these things that bring you joy? And if you're happy with it, then good job. Now you can appreciate it more and you can have gratitude for it. Maybe you can make it more exciting in some way or another and spice it up in the different areas of your life or however. And if you have been working on a goal, then woundedness is sometimes difficult. Like if you've been like the Nine of Wands, it's like the wounded warrior, standing up for yourself, learning to stand up for yourself, learning to let the wounds go. You have to deal with this past, to be broken, to be a victim, to be however victimized. We all have been victimized in our life in one way or the other. We all have problems that is bringing us down, energies that we allow them to bring us down. We all have that in our life. And so how do you deal with it? How can you take your power back? How can you bring back the worthiness within yourself? How can you release the guilt? How can you release the shame and the fear and the insecurities? How can you release it so you can build yourself up? Six of Swords is here. Six of Swords is like going away from trying times, allowing something greater than yourself to lift you, to take you over to better shores, to be realizing the darkness, like the depression, the heavy energy, the grief, the depression, the anxiety, the fear, the worriness, all that stuff, all the darkness, like to acknowledge it and then be like, okay, probably whatever goal you have in your life, whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's less likely that you're going to be able to do it if you are depressed, feeling anxious, panicking, fearful, nervous, whatever it is you're trying to do. It's not going to be that easy to do it if those are feelings that you harbor within yourself. So learning how to let go of it, learning how to feel it and let it go, and so that you can, and sometimes these processes can take years, but then that's a part of your goal. Like if you want to get to there, then you have to become the person along the way and allow spirit, allow the good book, like allow these things to do the next right thing. When you do the next right thing, that's when things start falling into place for you. That's when the things start to open up. And that's when things become easy. And also being aware of all the pitfalls that we have around us all the time, every day. From when you get up in the morning, there is so much manipulation. There are so many impressions. There are so many people, companies, products that is trying to get your attention everywhere. And so learning to reset, focus, center yourself within yourself, learning to take your power back within yourself so that you don't get drawn into all of these distractions. It's going to also be very necessary to stay focused, basically, so that you can move towards your goal, staying focused and releasing old pain. Pray about what you want to accomplish, like Great Spirit or Father God or however you want to pray. What does it feel like to feel completely confident and calm? What do I need to do to feel more secure about this? Or what do I need to do? And then you ask, like, what would that feel like? Show me what it would feel like, basically. And then Allow it to show you how it will feel. It can come in a movie. Maybe someone is having a reaction in a movie like that, or maybe you see someone out on the street, or you can see, it can come in so many ways. A song that you hear on the radio, and allowing those lessons to come into you once you pray about it, and you'll get the answers. It's the easiest way to find the answers. Page of Cups. Someone is sitting here looking at their own reflection. So someone growing, looking at themselves, taking stock maybe. The conflict can be sometimes you get over indulgent in our own reflection. We really love, like everybody loves their own smell, what they say. So everybody has their own love and their own admiration for themselves. A lot of people do. And so to find balance in that, like to find the balance between self-adoration and kind of, we're not that important. Like none of us, be honest, like none of us that is walking this earth today is of that importance. Like we're all gonna die. We're all just gonna be here for a little while. Yeah, we're doing some real crappy stuff and we're gonna leave like a shitty earth to all the descendants and all that stuff. But all in all, I mean, people aren't that, like if people were that great, then I believe that this earth would look different. I believe that the people that I saw out on the street would be happier. I believe that they would look healthier, and I believe they would look like they really enjoyed life more than shells walking around. So we're obviously doing something out of context, and I believe that it has a lot to do with the love, the beating of the heart, allowing, instead of the external things like how do you look, of course that's okay too, there's nothing wrong with it, but when it's only about with the size of your thighs, the length of your legs, or whatever, your hair, or whatever it is outside, when that is the only measurement, if you're like a decent, good person, if you're going to be a person of respect because you look a certain way, and it has nothing to do with the heart, the human, like how you treat other people. Are you able to see other people? Are you able to be compassionate to other people? And all that stuff. And so conflict arises because we don't know ourselves. We don't know ourselves. We think we know what we look like and we love it. So we're going to show it off to everybody. But we don't know ourselves at all. And there's a conflict. Like you're like giving other people a mask instead of how you truly feel about things. And when you how you truly feel about things, you have to be out there and experience them and be honest about how you feel in the moments that you're out there. Otherwise, you won't find your authentic voice. 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Overburden. Sometimes the conflict can come from overburdening ourselves, not asking for help, not allowing people to come in and help. And sometimes it can be that all the work that you have to put, like if someone starts a business, I think they say like, okay, you have to like at least give it like a couple of years probably before you even start making any money, because at first you have to invest into it. And so doing stuff like that is a good thing, but overdoing it without any kind of return on your investments, whatever it is. If you're investing in a relationship and you're doing all the work and you're freaking wearing yourself out, you're doing everything you can for this other person to appreciate you, to love you, to be there for you, and all that stuff, and you're wearing yourself out. Now that's a one-sided relationship. If you were to be completely honest with yourself and not be like, oh, but I love the person so much. Yeah, maybe you're in love with someone, like in love with the idea of having to prove something to be loved. Or maybe there is something about this other person that they have got you under their manipulation techniques or whatever. Now you're running around doing their bidding in a way. And if you ever stopped for a moment to pause and just take that moment out and be like, how do I really feel about this? How does it make me feel when I never be loved, even though I do all the hard work or whatever I try to do and I don't get the love? Like, how does it really truly make me feel? And then once you start being honest about these things, now you can solve conflicts, like take the conflict out of situations and figure it out. But you have to be honest first about how you really feel about these things, which is not easy to do because we're not that encouraged to do so. And we got 7 of Cups. What situation in your life is bringing a variety of choices? And then we have here too, 7 of Cups is showing up again. And maybe you're not seeing all the choices that you do have, and it's creating a conflict that you don't see the opportunities that is being brought to you, because sometimes we over invest in one idea. It has to be like this is the only way, and then we over invest our commitment to that particular idea, and then we forget to look at the other cups. And it can create conflict if someone else is trying to come in with some kind of suggestion, or they're trying to show you something and you don't see it, and they don't know how to communicate it in a different way so that you would see it. Then there can be a conflict. Now they're going to be hurt feelings because you didn't pay them attention, and you're not going to really know about it, but you might sense it if you're an empath, and then you might sense the energy is not that good. There's something that happened, but you're not quite sure what it is. So sometimes not seeing all the options can create conflict like that with the people in our lives. So other person on your mind. So whichever person, this doesn't have to be like a romantic or anything. It could just be someone that has been on your mind. And they are showing up as avoiding conflict, not taking action, inactivity, standstill, and too busy. So with whatever this person's role in your life is, it's like, okay, if this is someone that you have conflict with, they're going to try and avoid it because they don't like to be confrontational. They don't like that kind of scenario. They don't like that kind of conversation. So if you have someone that you have to take, or that you would like to have a conversation with, then you might be the one to initiate it. You might be the one who have to go there and talk to them, because they might not initiate it because they don't really like it. They're going to try and avoid it. But if you need answers, if you want to talk to somebody, you can always go and talk to them. And usually it's always like people are glad that you did, like afterwards, when everything is said and done. It's always a good thing. And sometimes inactivity or standstill, you don't want to move forward, you don't want to make the changes. Sometimes we get caught up in the status quo because you know that once you start making moves on this, it might create a whole lot of extras. Now there's going to be a lot of stuff to deal with. So sometimes we just try and avoid things, and with this other person on your mind, they might do that. They might not take any action because they're super busy, and they're secretly avoiding a little bit conflict, and they're standstill. They're not taking any action. So in this particular situation with this person on your mind, you might have to just, because they might be overloaded, they're working too much, they don't take the breaks, they don't pause, they just go and go and go. So their days are just like waking up in the morning, and then you go on the same merry-round that you did before and do all your chores and do all your things throughout the day. You go to bed, you wake up in the morning, and you do the same thing. And so if the person on your mind is a person like that, then you might have to stick your foot into their hamster wheel a little bit so that you can get their attention. And you might have to do that, because otherwise they won't slow down enough to do it. And spirit advice saying, okay, Ace of Pentacles, maybe you could get a new job, a new project. Perhaps you have a new income coming in. There is advice to look for that, start something. Maybe meditate on what can you do to start this new venture. Pray about it. Like, what is this new venture that Spirit is advising you to do? Like, what is it, this new thing, this new project, new job? It can be a promotion. It can be something starting, new income, stuff like that. Like, pray about it. Like, ask, what is that look like for you? What is that look like for you? And also to be open about things. Spirit is saying, don't be hiding everything or create illusions. Be open and honest and truthful about things. Truth is always better than to be all weird and make up stories and shadow stuff over and try to make things complex that is really very simple. So Spirit is saying to be open and clear about in communication, in any kind of communication with water, like emotions, trying to explain. It's always difficult to explain our emotions to other people, or can be. And if you're not that good at saying it out loud, you can write it down, or you can maybe find a song that says it, or you can find some kind of, you can write it or do something in a way and communicate in a different way. Anyhow, so communication and open communication. And also Spirit is saying to stop whining about the past. Stop whining about the past and get on with your life in the moment, and then look at this new thing that is being presented to you, because there is like a cup that is coming out of the blue, but this girl, she's so sad about all these disappointments in life and stuff like that, so she doesn't see the gift that is in front of her. And so sometimes, yeah, with all the opportunities that we have, sometimes we are not able to see it. Sometimes Spirit doesn't want us to see it because it's not good for us, and then it just won't show up in our life. So that can be another thing too. That can be a good thing as well. So, but to be aware of the things that are being presented to you and be open and clear in communication. Activation, yes. Take an action. Spirit guardian of spring, activation. Activating those dreams, activating that sense of feeling, activating the sense of authentic reactions, authentic experiencing things. How you feel, how do you feel about it? Acknowledge, at least to yourself. You don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to, but at least acknowledge it for yourself, within yourself. And that is a big difference from trying to push it away and hide it away. And Esther and Abraham Hicks says, it does not matter how good you feel or how fast you feel it. The only thing that matters is that you consciously discover some relief, no matter how slight it is, and that you understand that your relief has come in a response to some deliberate effort that you have offered. For when you are able to consciously find relief, then you have regained creative control of your own experience. And then you are on your way to wherever you wish to go. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, it respects, and it loves. The same beautiful light in you. Until next time.